Loving yourself truly and deeply begins with embracing your imperfections. This is perhaps one of the hardest lessons life asks us to learn. We live in a world that constantly pressures us to be flawless, to have the perfect body, the perfect career, the perfect relationships. Social media bombards us with images of ideal lives and bodies, carefully curated to hide the struggles beneath. We are told, directly or indirectly, that to be lovable, to be worthy, we must fix what we see as broken, hide what we feel is ugly, and never show our weaknesses. But real self-love, true self-love is exactly the opposite. It is about seeing every part of yourself, especially those parts that society deems imperfect, and saying, I love you, I accept you, you are enough. Imperfections are not flaws that need correction. They are the very essence of what makes you unique and human. Your scars, whether visible or invisible, tell stories of survival, courage, and growth. They are marks of battles you fought, wounds you healed, and lessons you learned. They are proof that you have lived, that you have tried, and that you have grown. To embrace your imperfections means to honor your journey instead of hiding it. It means understanding that your worth does not diminish because you have fallen or failed. In fact, it often grows stronger because of those experiences. When you start to embrace your imperfections, you begin to dismantle the false image of perfection that society has imposed on you. You stop comparing yourself to others or trying to fit into unrealistic molds. You realize that perfection is an illusion, one that no one can achieve and that only serves to make you feel less than. Instead, you start to see beauty in your uniqueness. Your quirks, your fears, your struggles, all of these become parts of a rich tapestry that is uniquely yours. This acceptance brings freedom, freedom from the exhausting pursuit of perfection and freedom to be authentic. True self-love also means forgiving yourself for your mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has moments they regret, choices they wish they could undo, but holding on to guilt and shame only weighs you down. When you love yourself, you learn to extend the same compassion to yourself that you would give to a dear friend. You say, I forgive you. I understand you did the best you could at the time. This forgiveness is not about ignoring responsibility or failing to grow. It's about releasing the heavy burden of self-condemnation so that you can move forward with a lighter heart. Embracing imperfections also means being patient with yourself. Growth and healing are not linear. Some days you will feel strong and proud, other days vulnerable and broken. Both are part of the process. When you love yourself, you allow space for those fluctuations. You do not expect yourself to be perfect every day. Instead, you hold yourself with kindness through the hard moments and celebrate the victories, no matter how small. This kind of self-love changes the way you see the world. When you accept your own imperfections, you become more empathetic toward others. You recognize that everyone carries their own wounds and struggles behind their smiles. You start to connect on a deeper level, understanding that we are all imperfect beings learning to love ourselves. This shared humanity becomes a source of strength and connection. Moreover, embracing your imperfections fuels your creativity and authenticity. When you stop hiding who you really are, you open doors to express yourself fully and honestly. Whether it's through art, words, relationships, or work, your true self shines brightest when it is free from the chains of perfectionism and fear. This authenticity attracts people who love and accept you for who you really are, not for who you pretend to be. It's important to recognize that embracing imperfections does not mean you stop growing or striving to improve. It means you accept yourself at every stage of your journey while still seeking to become the best version of yourself. It means loving yourself enough to nurture your strengths and gently work on your weaknesses without harsh judgment. This balanced approach leads to sustainable growth grounded in self-respect rather than self-criticism. Many of us have a long way to go in learning how to truly love ourselves with all our imperfections. It can be scary to face the parts of ourselves we have hidden or rejected for so long. But every step taken toward self-acceptance is a step toward freedom and joy. It is a rebellion against the unrealistic standards that have tried to define us. It is a declaration that we are worthy of love, not because we are perfect, but because we are real. So today, if you find yourself caught in the trap of self-judgment, pause and remind yourself, your imperfections are not your weaknesses, they are your strengths. They are the proof that you have lived, that you have felt, and that you have grown. Look in the mirror and see beyond the surface. See the resilient soul who has faced storms and is still standing. See the beautiful human being deserving of kindness, compassion, and above all, love. Love for yourself. Loving yourself in this way is not just an act of self-care. It is an act of courage. It takes bravery to face yourself fully, to embrace all that you are without apology. But the reward is immeasurable. A life lived with authenticity, peace, and the deep, unshakable joy that comes from knowing you are enough exactly as you are. Your worth is not something that can be measured by the successes you achieve or the failures you endure. It is a fundamental truth that exists beyond circumstances, beyond mistakes, beyond the harsh judgments you might place on yourself or hear from others. Yet it is one of the most difficult lessons to fully understand and accept. When life throws challenges at you, when you stumble, when plans fall apart, when rejection or loss hits you hard, it's easy to question your value. You might wonder, am I enough? Did I fail because I'm not good enough? These questions can be poisonous to your spirit because they tie your worth to external events that are often outside of your control. But the reality is, yourself. Worth must be independent of all of these ups and downs. Setbacks are an inevitable part of life. No one escapes pain, failure, or disappointment. Even the most successful people you admire have faced moments where everything seemed to crumble. The difference is not in avoiding setbacks, but in how you perceive yourself when they happen. If you define yourself by what you achieve or how flawless your life looks, then every setback can feel like a personal defeat, a proof of inadequacy. This mindset creates a fragile sense of self that wavers with every success and failure. It makes happiness conditional and leaves you vulnerable to despair, but worth that is anchored in something deeper remains unshaken by the tides of life. It is the quiet understanding that you are valuable simply because you exist, not because of what you do, but because of who you are at your core. This intrinsic worth is unchanging. It does not grow or shrink based on external validation. When you recognize this, setbacks lose their power to define you. They become moments on your journey, not the sum total of your value. The first step to embracing this truth is to separate your identity from your experiences. You are not your failures. You are not your mistakes. You are not the harsh words someone spoke to you or the opportunities you missed. These are events that happened to you or things you did, but they do not determine your essence. You are a human being with inherent dignity and worth, deserving of love and respect regardless of what life throws your way. When setbacks come, and they will, it's natural to feel pain, disappointment, and even shame. These emotions are part of being human, but it's important to remember that feeling these things does not mean you are less worthy. In fact, sometimes it is through our deepest struggles that we discover the strength and courage within ourselves. It is often in the darkest moments that our character is forged, that resilience is born. There is a profound power in choosing how to respond to setbacks. You can let them define you, or you can use them as stepping stones to grow. This choice begins with self-compassion, the ability to treat yourself with kindness and understanding when things go wrong. Instead of harsh self-criticism, try to speak to yourself as you would to a dear friend who is hurting. Offer encouragement, patience, and hope. Remind yourself that setbacks do not erase your value. They are simply challenges that everyone faces. It's also important to challenge the stories you tell yourself about your setbacks. Often, when we fail or face rejection, we create negative narratives that magnify our shortcomings and minimize our strengths. We say things like, "I'm a failure," "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never succeed." These stories can trap us in a cycle of doubt and fear. But these thoughts are not facts. They are just thoughts, and they can be changed. By consciously choosing to reframe setbacks as opportunities for learning and growth, you free yourself from their grip on your self-worth. Remember, some of the most inspiring stories of human achievement come from people who faced tremendous adversity yet refused to let it define them. They understood that failure is not a reflection of their value, but a part of the process of becoming. When you adopt this mindset, you begin to see setbacks not as punishments or confirmations of unworthiness, but as natural steps along your unique path. Another crucial aspect is understanding that your worth is not dependent on others' approval. It's easy to fall into the trap of seeking validation from family, friends, colleagues, or society at large. When that approval is withheld or withdrawn, it can feel like a rejection of your very being. But other people's opinions are just that, opinions. They do not hold the power to determine your value unless you give them that power. Cultivating a strong sense of self-worth means building your inner foundation so solid that external judgments can't shake it. This does not mean you close yourself off to feedback or growth. It means you listen to criticism with an open heart, but do not accept it as a verdict on your worth. You learn from what helps you improve, and you let go of what only serves to diminish your spirit. To nurture self-worth independent of setbacks, it helps to develop practices that reinforce your value. This might be daily affirmations, journaling about your strengths and accomplishments, or surrounding yourself with people who uplift and support you. Engage in activities that make you feel alive and connected to your purpose. When you invest time and energy into caring for your mind, body, and soul, you remind yourself that you deserve kindness and respect, especially from yourself. Finally, remember that your worth is not tied to perfection. Nobody is perfect. We all have flaws and limitations. Accepting this truth frees you from the exhausting pursuit of being flawless and allows you to love yourself as you are complete, worthy, and valuable. So whenever you find yourself doubting your worth because of a setback, pause and breathe. Remind yourself that your value is not diminished by any external circumstance. You are worthy simply because you are you. Stand firm in this truth, and let it be the anchor that holds you steady through life's storms. When you do, you unlock a wellspring of confidence and peace that no setback can take away. Self-love is not a one-time event or a sudden realization. It is not something that happens overnight or as a result of a single moment of clarity. Rather, self-love is a continuous, daily, intentional choice, a commitment you make to yourself every morning when you wake up and every night before you rest your head. It is a practice, a journey, and an ongoing conversation with your own heart. In a world that constantly pulls us in 1,000 directions, demanding our time, energy, and attention, choosing to love yourself can feel like a radical act. It requires slowing down, tuning in, and prioritizing your own well-being amidst the noise and chaos. It means looking beyond external achievements, appearances, or validations, and choosing instead to nurture the relationship you have with yourself. This choice to love yourself intentionally begins with awareness. It means paying attention to how you speak to yourself, how you treat your body, and how you respond to your emotions. Are your thoughts kind or harsh? Do you offer yourself grace when things don't go as planned? Do you listen to your body's needs or push it beyond its limits? These small moments of self-awareness reveal how much love you are truly giving yourself on any given day. Intentional self-love also means setting boundaries. Loving yourself involves saying no. When something drains your energy or harms your peace, even if saying no feels difficult, it means protecting your time and space so you can rest, recharge, and grow. Boundaries are acts of self-respect. They communicate to yourself and others that your well-being matters. Without these boundaries, self-love becomes an abstract idea rather than a lived experience. Another essential aspect of self-love as a daily choice is the commitment to self-care. This does not mean indulgence alone, but rather a holistic approach that nurtures your mind, body, and spirit. It could be something as simple as drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, or taking a walk in nature. It might involve meditation, journaling, reading a book that inspires you, or spending time with people who uplift you. Self-care is a declaration that you matter and that your health and happiness are worthy of attention. Importantly, intentional self-love requires patience and compassion. There will be days when you fall back into old patterns of self-criticism or neglect. There will be moments when you feel disconnected from yourself or overwhelmed by life's demands. In those times, self-love means forgiving yourself gently and recommitting to kindness. It means reminding yourself that growth is not linear and that every day offers a new opportunity to start fresh. The language you use in your internal dialogue shapes your experience of self-love. Instead of harsh judgments, try cultivating affirmations that reinforce your worth and potential. Tell yourself things like, I am enough, I deserve love and kindness, and I am doing my best, and that is enough. These affirmations are not empty words. They are seeds planted in the fertile soil of your mind, growing stronger with repetition and intention. Self-love as a daily choice also extends to how you respond to challenges and setbacks. Rather than blaming yourself or retreating into shame, you can choose to treat yourself with understanding and encouragement. When mistakes happen, remind yourself that you are human and learning. When life gets hard, acknowledge your pain, but also your strength to endure and rise again. Each time you respond with love instead of judgment, you deepen your self-compassion and resilience. Choosing to love yourself daily means embracing your entire being, your strengths and weaknesses, your joys and sorrows, your successes and failures. It means recognizing that you are worthy of love simply because you exist, not because of what you achieve or how you look. This awareness frees you from the endless cycle of striving and self-doubt and opens the door to genuine peace and happiness. When you consistently choose self-love, it transforms the way you live. You become less dependent on external validation because you have cultivated a deep well of inner acceptance. Your relationships improve because you set healthy boundaries and communicate your needs clearly. Your decisions align more closely with your values because you prioritize your well-being. In short, self-love creates a foundation for a fulfilling and authentic life. This daily choice is not always easy. Sometimes society, culture, or even people close to you may not support your journey towards self-love. They might encourage self-sacrifice or perfectionism, or dismiss the importance of your needs. But choosing to love yourself anyway is a powerful act of courage and rebellion. It is a declaration that your life matters, that your happiness matters, and that you deserve to be treated with kindness, first and foremost by yourself. Remember, self-love is not selfish or vain. It is the essential fuel that allows you to give your best to others and to the world. When you love yourself, you show up as your true whole self. You inspire others to do the same. You create ripples of love and kindness that extend far beyond your own life. So today and every day, choose self-love. Make it a priority to nurture your spirit, listen to your heart, and treat yourself with the same compassion and respect you offer others. It is a journey worth taking, a journey that leads to freedom, joy, and the profound realization that you are enough, exactly as you are. The way we see ourselves profoundly shapes every aspect of our lives. Our self-perception influences how we feel, how we act, and how we relate to the world around us. When we see ourselves through a lens of harsh judgment and criticism, it becomes a heavy burden that colors our every thought and action. But when we choose to see ourselves with kindness, compassion, and understanding, something remarkable happens. Our entire perspective transforms. This shift is not just about feeling better temporarily. It is a powerful change that ripples through our emotions, behaviors, and relationships, leading us toward a more fulfilling and peaceful life. Seeing yourself with kindness begins with the simple but profound practice of treating yourself as you would treat someone you love deeply and unconditionally. Think about the way you speak to your closest friend when they are hurting or struggling. You offer gentle words, encouragement, and patience. You do not belittle them or list their shortcomings. Now, imagine extending that same kindness inward toward yourself. This is the foundation of compassion, radical and life-changing approach to self-perception. For many of us, this kind internal dialogue does not come naturally. We are often our own harshest critics. We replay our mistakes over and over, focus on perceived flaws, and expect perfection. But this harshness is not helpful. It drains our energy, diminishes our confidence, and fuels anxiety and depression. When you see yourself with kindness instead, you create a safe emotional space where healing and growth can occur. You acknowledge your struggles without judgment, and you give yourself permission to be imperfect, human, and vulnerable. One of the most powerful effects of viewing yourself kindly is the reduction of negative self-talk. Negative self-talk is that constant inner voice that tells you things like, "I'm not good enough," "I always mess up," or "I don't deserve happiness." This voice can be relentless and damaging, but kindness acts like a soothing balm that quiets these harsh judgments. When you respond to negative thoughts with compassion, perhaps by reminding yourself that everyone makes mistakes or that you are worthy of love, you begin to weaken their hold over you. Over time, this gentler inner voice grows stronger, replacing criticism with encouragement. Seeing yourself with kindness also changes how you handle failure and setbacks. Instead of beating yourself up or feeling shame, you learn to approach difficulties with understanding and care. You recognize that failure is a natural part of growth and that making mistakes does not diminish your value. This perspective allows you to be resilient, to bounce back from challenges, and to keep moving forward with hope and determination. Kindness toward yourself creates a foundation of emotional safety from which you can explore, take risks, and embrace life more fully. When you practice kindness toward yourself, your relationships with others also improve. Often, how we treat ourselves sets the tone for how we allow others to treat us. If you are constantly critical and unforgiving of yourself, you might unconsciously expect others to do the same. But when you learn to be gentle with yourself, you begin to seek and accept kindness from others. You set healthier boundaries and communicate your needs more clearly. Moreover, practicing kindness cultivates empathy, allowing you to be more compassionate and understanding in your interactions with others. This transformation begins with simple but intentional steps. Start by paying attention to your inner dialogue. Notice when you are being harsh or critical. When those thoughts arise, pause and ask yourself what a kind response would sound like. For example, if you think, "I failed again," you might gently reframe it to, "I did my best and I'm learning." You can also write down kind affirmations or reminders and read them when you need encouragement. Over time, these practices become habits that reshape your self-view. Another way to nurture kindness toward yourself is through mindfulness. Mindfulness teaches you to observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. It helps you become aware of negative patterns and creates space for kindness to enter. When you notice a painful thought or emotion, you can acknowledge it with compassion rather than pushing it away or judging yourself for having it. This acceptance is a powerful form of kindness that fosters healing. Physical care is also an important expression of kindness. When you treat your body with respect, by nourishing it with healthy food, resting when needed, and moving it joyfully, you reinforce the message that you are worthy of care and attention. These acts of kindness strengthen the connection between your mind and body, supporting overall well-being. Importantly, seeing yourself with kindness does not mean ignoring areas where you want to grow or improve. It means holding yourself with compassion even as you strive to become better. It means recognizing that growth is a process and that mistakes along the way are part of learning, not evidence of failure. This compassionate mindset encourages perseverance rather than punishment. As this perspective deepens, you begin to notice a shift in how you experience life. You feel lighter, more peaceful, and more connected to yourself. You develop a sense of inner security that is not dependent on external approval or perfection. This foundation of kindness supports you through life's inevitable ups and downs, allowing you to face challenges with grace and resilience. Ultimately, seeing yourself with kindness transforms your entire relationship with yourself. It moves you from a place of judgment and scarcity to one of acceptance and abundance. It opens your heart to your own humanity and invites you to walk your path with love and courage. This transformation is one of the most powerful gifts you can give yourself, a gift that enriches your life and radiates out to touch everyone around you. The people you choose to surround yourself with have a profound impact on how you see yourself, how you feel, and ultimately, how you live your life. Human beings are social creatures, and our relationships shape our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions in ways we often don't fully realize. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift you is not just about having friends or acquaintances. It's about building a supportive, nurturing environment that encourages your growth, celebrates your strengths, and embraces you with kindness and respect. When you are surrounded by positive influences, you begin to see yourself reflected through a kinder, more loving lens. These people remind you of your worth when you forget. They encourage you when you doubt yourself and celebrate your successes with genuine joy. Their belief in you can become a source of strength, helping you navigate life's challenges with greater resilience and hope. In contrast, toxic or negative relationships can drain your energy, diminish your confidence, and cloud your self-perception with doubt and criticism. Choosing who to spend your time with is, therefore, an act of self-love. It is a conscious decision to protect your emotional well-being and foster an environment where you can thrive. This choice might mean setting boundaries with people who bring negativity or choosing to distance yourself from relationships that no longer serve your highest good. It can be difficult, especially when those people are family members or longtime friends, but it is necessary to create space for healthier connections. Uplifting people come in many forms. They might be friends who listen without judgment, mentors who inspire and guide you, colleagues who support your ambitions, or family members who show unconditional love. These individuals share qualities such as empathy, respect, encouragement, and authenticity. They do not seek to control or diminish you, but rather to see you shine and grow. One of the most beautiful things about surrounding yourself with uplifting people is how their positivity becomes contagious. Their optimism, kindness, and confidence can inspire you to believe in yourself more deeply. When you see someone else overcoming difficulties with grace, it reminds you that you can do the same. Their encouragement can help you take risks and step out of your comfort zone because you know you have a safety net of support behind you. In nurturing these relationships, it's important to also be someone who uplifts others. True support is reciprocal. It grows stronger when both parties care for and encourage one another. When you offer kindness, understanding, and encouragement, you contribute to a positive cycle that benefits everyone involved. This mutual upliftment creates bonds built on trust and respect, which nourish your soul and enhance your self-worth. Sometimes finding uplifting people requires stepping outside of your current circles. You might explore new social groups, join communities aligned with your interests and values, or seek out mentors and role models who inspire you. This can be intimidating at first, but it is worth the effort. Surrounding yourself with people who reflect the qualities you aspire to develop helps you grow in ways that solitary effort cannot achieve. It is also essential to recognize that even uplifting relationships require care and attention. Like any living thing, relationships thrive when nurtured. This means showing appreciation, communicating openly, and being present. Investing time and energy into these connections strengthens your support system and deepens your sense of belonging. On the flip side, learning to recognize and release toxic relationships is a crucial part of self-love. Toxicity can manifest as constant criticism, manipulation, jealousy, or lack of respect. These behaviors chip away at your confidence and make it difficult to maintain a positive self-image. Setting firm boundaries or walking away from such relationships is not selfish. It is a necessary act of self-preservation and respect. When you make the conscious choice to surround yourself with people who uplift you, you create a powerful foundation for self-love and personal growth. Their support helps you build resilience against life's challenges and reminds you that you are never alone. This community becomes a mirror reflecting your worth and potential, reinforcing the belief that you are deserving of love, kindness, and success. Moreover, uplifting relationships add joy, laughter, and meaning to life. They remind you of the beauty of connection and the strength found in shared experiences. Through them, you learn more about yourself, gain new perspectives, and find encouragement to pursue your dreams. In a world that often emphasizes competition, comparison, and individualism, choosing to build a circle of support is a revolutionary act. It honors the truth that we are stronger together and that love multiplies when shared. By surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, you create a sanctuary where your spirit can flourish and where love is not just an ideal but a lived reality. So take time to evaluate the relationships in your life. Seek out those who inspire and encourage you. Invest in those connections with care and gratitude, and don't be afraid to let go of what no longer serves your growth. In doing so, you pave the way for a more joyful, confident, and loving relationship with yourself and others. Self-love is the foundation from which true empowerment and freedom arise. When you genuinely love and accept yourself, you unlock a deep well of inner strength that allows you to live your life with confidence, authenticity, and courage. This kind of empowerment is not about controlling others or external circumstances, but about reclaiming your own power, the power to choose, to heal, and to create a life that reflects your true values and desires. Empowerment begins with self-awareness. Loving yourself means understanding your worth and recognizing the unique gifts you bring to the world. It is the quiet but powerful realization that your voice matters, your dreams are valid, and your existence has meaning. When you embrace this truth, you no longer feel small or insignificant in the face of challenges or societal pressures. Instead, you stand tall, grounded in the knowledge that you are enough just as you are. This inner empowerment transforms the way you approach life's obstacles. Rather than feeling like a victim of circumstances, you start to see yourself as an active participant in your own story. You take responsibility for your choices and actions, not out of guilt or self-blame, but as a declaration of your power to influence your path. This shift in mindset opens doors to new possibilities and fuels your motivation to pursue your goals with determination and resilience. Freedom is the natural companion of empowerment. When you love yourself, you free yourself from the chains of self, doubt, fear, and the need for external approval. You stop living to meet others' expectations and begin living in alignment with your own truth. This freedom is incredibly liberating. It allows you to express yourself fully, to follow your passions, and to make decisions that honor your well-being and happiness. One of the greatest barriers to empowerment is the negative self-talk and limiting beliefs that many people carry. These internal voices often tell us that we are not worthy, not capable, or not deserving of happiness. They create invisible walls that trap us in cycles of fear, procrastination, and self-sabotage. Self-love dismantles these barriers by replacing judgment with compassion and doubt with confidence. It rewires your internal narrative so that you become your own biggest supporter rather than your harshest critic. When you cultivate self-love, you begin to set healthy boundaries that protect your energy and integrity. Empowerment means knowing your limits and having the courage to say no when something doesn't serve you. It means choosing relationships, work, and environments that nourish you rather than drain you. By asserting these boundaries, you honor your needs and values, which in turn strengthens your sense of self, worth, and autonomy. Self-love also empowers you to heal from past wounds and traumas. Holding on to pain, resentment, or guilt can weigh heavily on your spirit and limit your ability to move forward. Loving yourself involves forgiving yourself and others, releasing what no longer serves you, and embracing healing as a path to freedom. This process takes time and patience, but it is deeply transformative. Each step toward healing is a reclaiming of your power and a reaffirmation of your right to peace and happiness. Moreover, empowerment through self-love encourages you to take risks and step into your potential. When you believe in your worth, you are more willing to pursue opportunities, express your creativity, and stand up for yourself. You understand that failure is not a reflection of your value, but a natural part of growth. This mindset cultivates courage and resilience, enabling you to overcome obstacles and keep striving even when the path is uncertain. Another important aspect of this empowerment is the ability to live authentically. Self-love frees you from the need to conform to societal norms or the expectations of others. It gives you the confidence to be your true self, to embrace your quirks, passions, and unique qualities without apology. This authenticity attracts people and opportunities that align with your genuine nature, creating a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling. Empowerment and freedom also enhance your relationships. When you love yourself, you bring your whole authentic self into your connections. You communicate openly and honestly, ask for what you need, and give love without fear or conditions. This creates deeper, healthier relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. You no longer tolerate disrespect or toxicity because you recognize your own value and refuse to settle for less. It's important to remember that empowerment through self-love is a journey, not a destination. There will be days when doubts creep in, when fears resurface, and when old patterns try to regain control. But each time you return to self-love, you reinforce your power and reclaim your freedom. This ongoing practice builds resilience and helps you navigate life with grace and confidence. Cultivating self-love also encourages you to celebrate your achievements and honor your progress, no matter how small. Recognizing your growth reinforces your sense of empowerment and motivates you to keep moving forward. It shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have accomplished, fostering a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. Ultimately, self-love leads to a profound transformation in how you experience life. It liberates you from the constraints of fear, judgment, and self-doubt. It empowers you to live with intention, courage, and joy. It allows you to create a life that reflects your true self, a life of freedom, fulfillment, and endless possibility. When you choose to love yourself fully, you step into your power. You claim your right to happiness and peace, and in doing so, you become a beacon of empowerment and freedom, not only for yourself, but for those around you. This is the true essence of self-love, a force that heals, strengthens, and transforms every aspect of your being. In the end, choosing to love yourself is the greatest gift you can give, not just to yourself, but to the world. It is the key that unlocks your true power and frees you from the limits that fear and doubt have placed on your life. When you nurture self-love, you step into a life filled with confidence, authenticity, and endless possibility. You become the author of your own story, capable of facing challenges with courage and embracing joy without apology. Remember, this journey is yours alone, and every act of kindness toward yourself is a step closer to the freedom and empowerment you deserve. So, choose love, choose yourself, and watch how your life transforms in the most beautiful ways.